to go. Turns out CPU is probably fine, but the motherboard won't give us any display. So what we've done is send the customer shopping. This is the replacement motherboard. I did tell Cody to buy a 1200 LGA motherboard to replace the original board because the CPU, which is an i5, is probably okay. So this is Intel motherboard Z590 Tomahawk Wi-Fi edition from MSI. Alrighty. So this is basically sort of an unboxing. Let's see here. We got inside. What's in this little wee box here? Oh, the antennas for the Wi-Fi. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to consolidate everything so for organizational purposes. I'm just going to put everything right there. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm not going to physically install the motherboard yet. I want to get everything working before I put it in the machine. So I'll be able to do that. Okay, here's the board. I don't think I need anything else in here right now. I'm going to get rid of the box. Put it aside. Good. What can you guys see? Alright. Good. Now, there's our board. Okie dokie. So, one thing you want to do, you don't want to short circuit anything out because I will be turning this thing on the desk. I got a rubber foot here. Basically this platform here, it's a nice neoprene, not neoprene, but silicone rubber. So when I turn it on, it will be a safe place to put it. Right here. Okay. This is not the most entry level of boards. Alrighty, what do we have on here? We have Wi-Fi, Ethernet, USB-A, USB-C, DVI, no not DVI, DisplayPort, and HDMI. Oh, and it's got a flash BIOS button from external, so you don't even have to open up the case. USB-C, yes. One USB-C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 USB A's. And there we go. So this essentially is a parts replacement for the bad motherboard. This is a slightly higher end board than what he's got. Alright, so now we're going to put this board down on this nice piece of neoprene, or rubber, silicone. There we go. And here's our LGA 1200 CPU compatible motherboard. Here's our Phillips head screwdriver. So we're essentially going to, oh that's right, so we're going to take this machine apart. I'm not putting it together in the case, just because I want to confirm everything works. It saves a little bit of effort if I ever have to pull anything out. I want to know that it went in there working. I don't have a second camera yet, so you don't get to see my pretty face. I'm sorry. I think most people care most about the work rather than just me smiling. So you're just going to have to deal. Alright, let's see here. There, we're going to get rid of the video card because it's not necessary at the moment. Yeah. Leave this cover here, the needles, the pins underneath this are very delicate. So just keep this here. That's why even in shipping, even though no activity should be happening right there, they keep that there in shipping. So we are going to, I'm actually going to use my personal power supply because I don't need to take his existing power supply out. Since we know that works, since that's part of what actually does work on this existing motherboard. Okay, so now I'm just going to, here's our USB-A, USB front ports. Good. Good. First thing we can do is I did diagnose with removing memory modules. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and install these memory modules now. Oh, see? This is what's cool about getting things going before you put it in the case. Every other to take full advantage of memory performance. Otherwise, it's not dual channel, but you do want better performance. It'll operate at half speed otherwise. There, memory's physically in place. So now I'm going to remove this air-cooled heatsink. His i5 is likely good. I specifically purchased an i3 to double check that this motherboard is the problem and not his fried i5. CPU failures are very rare. They're not unheard of. But when I did warranty repair for Dell, I probably replaced 10, less than 10. Motherboard failures are more common, much more common. But of course, I couldn't with confidence say that his CPU is golden. So, looks like he's got a, hopefully we don't have to reinstall Windows. Hi, this is Chris.
You have a caller.
Hi, this is Chris.
Chris?
Yes.
Chris? My God, you get the award. I've called 112 people you picked up. I cannot believe it.
Really?
For all the success in the world that you picked up.
Thank you.
They don't understand how time sensitive this is with tech support and computers.
Right.
Thank God you picked up. Sir, do you have a minute?
Sure, what's up?
I'm located in the South Bay. I have a Google Chromebook. Are you familiar with the Chromebook?
Yes.
Okay. Not one person. I've been to Geek Squad. I've been everywhere. Do you do office home visits?
I do.
Okay. What is your hourly rate? Or does it work?
160.
Okay, and you would come for 160 and try to help me, but can I just ask a question
Yes.
over the phone?
Yes.
Okay. I'm working on a project. No one can help me. It's unbelievable.
All right.
Even Geek Squad. I'm working on a project. We're sharing an email. So the lady in Redondo Beach and I share an email. She set up the email address. My Explorer, when I turn on my Chromebook, it goes straight. I have 3 email addresses, so my business account, it goes straight in. It's configured to go right into my other Gmail account. So this woman and I both had the work one opened up. Well, she got hacked, so she took the liberty to change the password. I just kept it alive, working on my computer because I don't touch it, I don't stream anything, I don't do anything. Well, she got hacked, so she changed the password. By her changing the password, she permanently locked me out of this Chromebook to go in through she changed the password, and now when I go to a desktop or the library, I'm able to log in. But from this particular one, my browser recognizes my main account, so I have to go incognito, which is fine. I have no problem going incognito. I opened up the spreadsheet. We all share it. Great. I'm logged in. My problem is I can't find my other windows that used to be at the very top, like my Yahoo Mail, my other Gmail account.
Right.
It disappears, so I don't want to touch anything, and I'm freaking out.
Okay, well, so when she changed the password, did she not tell you what the new password is?
Yeah, she changed it. I'm in, but I'm in through incognito.
Yeah, well,
I can get in on my regular Chromebook. I go straight into my other Gmail account. So if I go onto the browser and just say gmail.com, I want to be a new person, it won't allow me. It just goes straight into my main Gmail account. This Chromebook is configured to just go right to I can't do it, so I only can do it. That one she set up is incognito, and it's fine. I'm incognito, and I'm working on it fine in the spreadsheets with everybody looking at it. But I just want my other windows on this Chromebook so I can toggle between them, but I don't know where they are because they're open, but I don't want to touch anything.
yeah, incognito, you gotta go into regular mode to bring back all your favorites.
I can't do it while I'm incognito?
No, I don't think so. You're pretending to be not you. Yeah. Correct.
I thought so. So because I'm incognito, because I can't get on this damn thing without being incognito, because she permanently got me out because she changed the password so I looked like the hacker because I had it open.
Right.
So they will not allow me to go into it on this laptop unless I go incognito.
Right. Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, I hate everything.
Right. Right. Go ahead.
So there's no way to circumvent that. If I'm incognito in this email or the other applications and the spreadsheets, I have to shut it all down to go to my original window then.
Yes.
I'll be doggone. There's no other way to see it on the computer so I can toggle between them.
Right. I'm kind of curious why you two are sharing one. I mean, I guess it's not a huge deal, but the fact that you guys don't have your own separate emails is, you're working on the same work.
We're with the movie companies. We're on the same emails. The movie people. They all we're all on the same. It's a shared email.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
It's a work email that we're all shared on. It's not a private email. It's a work email. So it's all for movies, religion movies. There's nothing on the email. So we all have to have access to these emails coming in from the database.
Right.
So that's the difference. So she got hacked on her own personal computer, and she went ahead and changed it, but she didn't tell me. If she had said, listen, I'm changing the password because I was hacked, I would have shut it down, and they wouldn't have recognized me as being on.
Right.
Since I was on, they permanently locked me out of that email address, and everybody else uses that. There's like 1,000 people on that email address. It's a bogus, non-benign email. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's why she changed the password, and I'm able to get in, but I have to go incognito.
Right.
This sucks.
Yeah.
So there's no other way to just reconfigure this Chromebook so I just can go back on it.
Well, I don't understand.
Knows what to do.
You should be able to log back in. I don't know why, if you have the password, you should be able to log into that account.
But sir, the Chromebook takes me right to my other Gmail. This Chromebook is configured to go through when I turn it on, it goes straight to Gmail.
Well, you have to sign out and back in. You sign into the one that you're trying to... Go ahead.
I did. And when I sign out of this Gmail on my computer and I sign out, it's configured. That's the problem. Whoever set this up configured it right to my Gmail. I can't get... If I go to the library or a desktop and I log in, I'm fine. But this laptop, the browser goes straight into this other Gmail, my primary Gmail account. And even if I go on the browser and go www.gmail.com and I open it up and try to put in the email address she has, it takes me again right into my primary Gmail. That's what I hate so bad.
Right. Yeah. You should be able to log into a particular email, but you should also be able to sign out of any device. Those Chromebooks you can marry to any particular Gmail account, and it sounds like you just need to sign out and back into the correct email.
I did. I signed out, I shut it down, I rebooted, and again, the same problem. The guy at tech support doesn't have an answer, the guy at Google doesn't have an answer, the guy at Spectrum, all the people, nobody knows what to do. Okay,
so what city are you in?
Manhattan Beach.
Oh, okay. So my shop's down in Redondo now. I'm thinking it might be easiest and make the most sense if you just came to me, because I'm going to know whether I can help in just a few minutes rather than charge you for a full house call and not be able to help you.
So if I unplug it and bring it to you,
yes.
You'll be able to see it?
Yes. Correct.
Where are you located?
713 South BCH in Redondo, so I'm about 5 or 6 miles south of you, just north of Nob Hill.
Redondo, north of Nob Hill.
Yes.
Okay, north of Nob Hill. 713 South PCH, Redondo.
Yes.
Okay, and your first name is, sir?
Chris.
Oh, Chris. Okay, Chris, and what's the name of the business?
South Bay Tech Gurus.
South Bay Tech Gurus.
Yep.
Okay, so if I shut it off and I bring it to you, and you turn it on, and you go on the Wi-Fi, you'll be able to,
Yes.
because like I said, you'll be able to get into my Gmail when I disconnect from here on my Wi-Fi. It
Yes.
will work.
I'll be able to
If
see
I-
at least how everything's going. Yes, I'll be able to know real quick if I can help.
All right, so I can't come right now. What time are you there till?
I'll be here the rest of the day. I got a couple things going on my shelf right now as I speak anyway, but I'll be here throughout the day until about 6.
Till about 6. Okay, so let me. I have a call coming in, a conference call, and let me. Hopefully, I can make it today, and if not, then tomorrow. Are you going to be there tomorrow?
Yeah, just give me a call before you head over just to make sure I'm here. I'm in and out all the time.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, dear. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. There you go. A day in the life of the local computer geek. All right. Okie dokie. Sounds like kind of a mess. Might be a real easy fix for her. It sounds like she's using the wrong credentials. It just doesn't make sense that you can't tell her Chromebook to choose one or the other Chromebook Chrome accounts. Alrighty. So it's all the phone always rings when I'm busy doing something else, but that's how it works. Okay, cool. We're going to be gentle in removing this cover. What can you see here? You can see everything good. Let me make this monitor here. Yes, okay, I've removed the CPU cover. Now I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to remove this CPU here. And then I'm going to remove or open up that right there. So this is an i5. Technically, this CPU could potentially be bad in diagnosing the issue. I used an i3 to diagnose the motherboard as bad. The i3 is brand new, so that's not likely the problem. But be gentle, be very gentle when you're doing this. You will destroy the CPU if you drop it. You will destroy the motherboard if those pins get bent. Alright, just one of the things that people that have never built a computer are afraid of, two things mainly. The physical exertion necessary to install RAM and the same sort of physical exertion it takes to lock down the CPU. Easy. It's smart to assume that you might be breaking things by pushing several pounds of pressure, but that's actually normal. So we're just going to be, there we go. I want to get the CPU transported just so it's in a more safe position. There, now the CPU is physically installed. I still do have to remove this motherboard to get the brace off the back of this machine. Alright. You know what? We'll have to go to the car to get a wrench because this darn... Alrighty. I can't quite get. Let's see here. Do I have? It's kind of hard. Let's see here. This should not be so difficult. I'm going to have to go to the car to get a wrench. That's so annoying. Oh, you know what? Well, I still need this piece anyway. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta get this stanchion off. Alright, I hate that. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, here we are. Let's see here. Let's see if... That's it. Here we are. Ah, there we go. All right. We are doing a motherboard migration. Well, that was a pain in the butt. Look at that. All right. So, you know what? We are going to, let's move the SSD. There's a chance I didn't actually tell him, but I might have to reinstall Windows. We might not, but let's see here. So this is an M2, here we go, M2 compatible motherboard. Alrighty. Let's use this Phillips head screwdriver right here. You know what? Okay, that screw was going. Okay, this screw, that's weird, they're supposed to be identical screws. That screw does not want to play ball. Let's see if, nothing like that. Alright. Yeah, I think this screwdriver is a little too big. Well, let's try it. Yeah, that's way too big. That's weird. I got this one here. Let's see here. Let's see. Some of these screws. That's not gonna work. I'm looking for a good Phillips connection here. Alright, so let's see. Is this a Phillips? No, it's a flathead. Come on. Some of these. See, it doesn't like that Phillips head screwdriver. I have to find. Oh, I got more screwdrivers here. Let's try this one. No, that's not Phillips. Gee golly. That's not a Phillips. That looks like a needle. Yes, hold on. Might do the job. Nope. Yeah, this screw is just tight. Let's see here. Ah, there we go. We found a screwdriver that works. Alrighty. So what we're doing. Alright. So this cover here. We're going to take that screw, again for the SSD. Oh, that's silly. Alright. So this base plate, look at this. A little screw stanchion for the SSD doesn't want to let go. Oh man, can't get that off. Slight technical problem. Let's see here, how are we going to do this? I have replacement stanchions. You know what? Let me see my tool again. Automotive wrench style. Gee golly. Alright, so I gotta get the stanchion out. And let's see if we can. I don't think it's grabbing it. Ah, there we go. That worked. Good. And who says automotive tools are inappropriate for a computer tech? There we go. We got our little SOC stanchion. All right, now we can put that back. Let's see here. Let's remove the original. There we go. See this screw where I'm doing right now? This is exactly why we need that stanchion back, so we have a placeholder for this machine. Okay, cool. So, as you see, without that stanchion, we have no place to screw in. So we're going to do it right here. It's got a little rubber foot, or like a kickstand. That's nice to keep it upright. I like to finger tighten it. I don't want to tighten it down so much that I'm going to have trouble in the future removing it. But that's essentially what happened. It came off on the other board, on this original board, because the screw through this, what do you call this? It is also an active heat sink, but yeah, anyway. The screw that goes through there wouldn't let go. So now we're going to reinstall. Hopefully this customer doesn't have the same customer problem as that other machine where I have to reinstall Windows. Sometimes migrating a drive with Windows doesn't recognize the foreign hardware, and it causes all sorts of stupid problems. Windows 10 and 11 are actually fairly robust about that. Windows 7 would not want to allow you to do that. Alright, good. So now his SSD is physically in place, nice and safe. You put all the little stuff on there, and that way you know you have a reliable setup. So now the CPU is physically in place. Now what I really want to do is, let's see, what do we want to do at this point? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and remove, I'm not going to put this hardware in here yet. I do want to, however, while I'm up here, remove the original motherboard. I like how I got my lighting done today. So I'm using basically a full-size Phillips-head screwdriver to take care of this. Looks like that's working on these screws. Okay, how many more screws do I have? Okay, this motherboard was not all the way screwed down. It looks like only 2 screws held it down. I'm not seeing any more than just these 2. That's interesting. There, yeah, see, this thing was not screwed all the way down. So there's a chance. Let's see what's under here. Get this. Yep, we got one more system fan. There we go. There we go. All right. So we're getting rid of the original motherboard. One of the ways you can tell this thing is a few years old, it's got DVI and VGA. It's got HDMI, but it's also got VGA and DVI. That tells you this machine's got a few years on it. Alright, then, of course, if you're really curious about how old the board is, you can Google the part number. Okay, so at this point, let's put that motherboard out of our way. Okay, so, one of the reasons I did that is because I want to be able to put this motherboard over here. This is the back plate for the CPU. This is ultimately what I needed to get out before I could install some cooling. Can't turn it on without a properly cooled system. So let's just, for giggles, get this case out of the way because it's technically not necessary for a running machine. Got it. Alright, cool. So at this point, I'm going to turn this upside down. And this is going to go to the back here. There we go. Good. Alright. So now we've got these two. Again, I like to finger tighten these screws so that you don't have to worry about in the future, like going out to your car to run and get a whole automotive-sized wrench to remove them. So just be gentle, just slightly, just about half a turn beyond finger loose. There we go. Let me see if I can get these off easily. Good, yes. Ah, there we go. No, almost. Let's do this just so I don't have loose parts flying around. What I'm essentially doing is prepping the cooling system because you can't do much testing without making sure everything's good and cool. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to be grabbing my big ass wrench again. What do you do with that? Let's see in here. Oh, there it is. Alright, so let's see if do it. Okay, there we go. And here, I'll try to show you what I'm doing. So this here, this stanchion, it was a pretty tight setup, so I want to make sure it's not so tight that we risk breaking anything at some point in the future. Good. Okay, good. So the only parts we've moved are the memory, the CPU, and the SSD. I'm half expecting this thing to boot. I'm half not. Mainly because we don't know what the state of that Windows installation is, since all I've seen is the original motherboard. It's firing up, but with no display. We swapped out the display, we swapped out the RAM modules, we even swapped out the CPU to confirm the motherboard is dead. So here we are. So, we're going to physically reinstall the cooling. Alrighty. Just a few turns. Now do, just like a car, you don't do the one next to it, you do the one opposite it. There. Good. I'm going to finger it tight. So he has an i5, I forgot exactly which model it is. I'm going to assume it does not have onboard graphics support, even though this motherboard has onboard video. We're going to use my personal video card to test, since we know that test bench card works. So he got himself a bit of an upgrade. It's not a totally high-end board, but it's better than what he had. Alright, so I'm just going a little bit further than finger tight. Let's get some fuzz in here. Theoretically, I should be able to take our video here. I'm going to move this a little closer. That whip. No. There, now the video card's installed. Okay, so now we're going to take my test bench power supply. We're going to, I guess we don't need auxiliary power for the video at this point, since we just want to see a result. Oh, that's right. Let's hope he was even booting off his M2. I didn't even see if he had a SATA card, or a SATA enabled motherboard. A SATA enabled driver, SSD or hard drive. Okay, so motherboard power goes right here. This is my personal power supply. I'm pretty sure his is okay. And then our CPU power goes right here. This is an i5 setup. I think 32 gigs of RAM. Whatever that M2 is. Alright, good. CPU power is in place. So now what I want to do is, that's right, turn this TV back on, plug this HDMI in. There, alright. Okay, theoretically, we should have a functioning machine once I plug this in. That's the one thing I haven't done yet. Let's plug the power supply in. Okay, drum roll. We're going to turn the power supply on, and now I got to figure out which two pins fire the board. It looks like we got a group of 8 right here. There we go, we got power. Okay, let's see, drum roll. Display, nothing yet. Oh, that's interesting. Now, let's see here. There's a chance it needs to, yeah, there, we got video. We got video. All right, CPU or memory changed. Right now, there, we have results. Good. CPU or memory change. Please enter, setup, or configure. Good. Good, good, good. So now that we have the necessary hardware installed, give it a minute. Now I'm going to plug in a keyboard. Probably should have done that first. Alrighty. Good. There's our BIOS. Good. So I'll put a link from the old video of me diagnosing this motherboard to this video here, and we'll go from there. So there, that's in. Now let's plug in this video. This what do you call it? Mouse. Yeah, we need a mouse. Let's do this mouse here. All right. We making progress now. So, now we have a working i5 with a working motherboard. And he got himself a bit of an upgrade. Got plenty of USB-A's, one USB-C. Alright. Let's see what's up here. Boot priority. Hard disk. First. Hard disk. USB. Let's see a boot drive. Do I have to manually turn on the? Yeah, it's not seeing. Look at that. It's not seeing the M2. Not present. Okay, so it's physically installed. M2 is not being seen. I'm gonna go turn on the air conditioning because my face is ripped. Okay, let's figure out how to turn this M2 on, huh? Alrighty. Okay, how do we turn on this M2? I'm dealing with a Z590 Tomahawk Wi-Fi edition. Need to save empty. It's not empty, it's physically installed. Alright, well, that's interesting. Yeah, this thing actually takes 3 M2s. Oh, let's see here. Where's our default here? So we got 16 gigs of RAM. Oh, I gotta plug in this fan at this point. Let's turn this thing off. Okay, so we're turning it off. I want to put his fan in because if I'm going to leave this thing on, let's just get off the thing to ready. Okay, so now I'm going to install the fan. Let's put the cables closer to the motherboard so we have more room to plug in. And CPU fan, got it. Alright, one of these plugs is for the power, the other is for the lighting, or the spinning motor, and then the other is for the lights. Warranty void if removed. Do 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 do. Oh, I see what that is. That's, yeah, different connection. All right, come on. There, physically plugged in. Good. So now let's turn this thing back on. Physically turned off the power supply. Oh, you know what? Oh, everything's plugged in. Here we are. So now let's get a display. So it's not seeing the M2 that's physically installed. Let's see here. Why is the storage not showing up? Let's see here. Here's the advanced function. Let's see here. Turn on flash CPU hardware monitor. Man, CPU pump system RPM fan. So I turn on the M2. What's the advanced function on this thing here? Oh, advanced, there we are, F7, good. Motherboard settings, boots. Here's the M2 function. Okay, why can I not see the M2? Alright, come on. Post beat. Let's see here. Here, boots. I don't want to overclock anything. All I want is for those M2s to function. There we are, NVMe. I wonder. There's no reason that drive should not be working. And I can't confirm it's not bad because ultimately I didn't see this in boot. So what I'm not seeing is a working or a visible M2. Advanced ACPI settings, Intel Thunderbolt, PCIe subsystems, superior ACE, USB configuration, integrated peripherals, SATA, hot plug. SATA configuration is in AHD mode. We don't want to mess with that. All we care about is that the M2 is visible. Onboard Wi-Fi BT mode, network stack disabled, LAN option disabled, VGA detection is auto. Power functions, NVMe SSD self-test. Audio. Oh, there we are. Did I have to turn on off pin mode? What? Which port did I turn on here? Storage and mapping. Where's the M2? Let's see here. We have 3 options here. Lightning Gen 4, i5 and above processors. Oh, barely supports an i5 and above. We do have an i5. Escape. Yes, save and exit. Let's see what happens when we reboot. Let's see. There we have a display. Come on in.
Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
All right, who is this?
Philip.
Oh, hi. Oh, hey.
Good to see you, Chris.
Yeah.
I said you were my first call, brother.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm live on YouTube.
Oh,
It's all right, you can talk. Just so
Hey.
you know you're on camera.
it's all good. I'm happy to be here with Chris.
Thanks. There's our video here.
Woohoo.
So what's up?
So I have a MacBook Pro that is not firing up.
All right.
Logo comes up.
Yeah.
Nothing happens after that.
How old is it?
2017,
Ooh,
I think.
that might be the good year because that's the last. I think that's the last year you could replace the drive. Let me see here.
And I brought my backup
Right.
drive just in case.
Yeah.
And I tried the SMC. I had
Yeah.
to do that not too long ago, and it worked fine.
Right.
Didn't happen this time. I tried the control option plus blah blah blah.
That's bad news. Your board is the storage is built into this motherboard.
No.
Yeah. So generally, I got a guy basically
Right.
who could repair it,
Right.
and my big guess is $400 or $500.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's halfway to a replacement machine.
Yeah. Right. Ugh. Okay.
So if you're not do you know if you were backed up to the cloud?
For certain things, my backup is the drive that's in that pouch.
Right.
But most of my work,
Were you using Time Machine?
yeah.
Okay, well then that's good.
Yeah.
How out of date do you think it is?
Oh, it's not. It's like a month old.
Okay, then
But
that's-
most of my stuff is on separate drives.
Got it. So yeah. So unfortunately, Apple's philosophy is that the storage is now built into the motherboard.
Right. Which
So-
has been replaced.
Oh really?
After I
Was
first
this-
bought it,
Did you have display problems?
I had heat issues.
Okay.
It's like all my peripherals were like drives were like heating up coming out of
Right.
the 2 ports.
Got it.
So I ended up, what I eventually did was just got a hub,
Right.
which cooled everything down. Right.
Right.
But the original board, Apple
Got it.
replaced it under warranty.
Wow. All right. Did you get
Um,
Apple Care on it, or was it just part of the first 1 year?
I
warranty?
did, but I think that's expired.
Right. Yeah. It only goes 3 years.
3 years. So,
Um,
but I thought I'd come see you first and just see what you think before
Well,
I trot it off to the Apple
so
store.
I got a guy. If you're really willing to spend $400 or $500,
Yeah.
really get it going, and he can't even promise the data will be intact.
See, that's, yeah, exactly.
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Apple's philosophy is that the storage is not part of it's now part of the motherboard.
Right, which is so stupid.
Yeah, up until, if this were a year older, I think 2016 is the last year where you can remove the SSD.
Yeah, okay.
So you're stuck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so frustrating. That's just the way Apple does it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
this is probably the first year for onboard
Thank you.
storage.
Yeah, because it's my wife and I shared one for a while, and then when I launched my latest business, I
Right.
bought that, so we weren't
Are you
competing.
road warrior? Do you need a laptop?
No, I'm going to go to the Apple store and talk to them.
The one machine I think is my favorite, which
Yeah.
is that one up there. You don't see it. It's a MacBook.
Oh,
It's a Mac Mini.
right.
For $800. It's a desktop. You just plug it into a TV and/or monitor,
Right.
and it's a full desktop.
Wow.
So it's a more affordable option. It's also more reliable, which is really my point.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, their laptops are not, since 2017.
Right.
There's a guy I watch on YouTube
Yeah.
who does these repairs, the guy I would have sent this to you.
Right.
To.
Yeah.
Basically, he just moans all day about how the
Wow.
later hardware is less reliable. And this is his bread and butter. He makes his living off of doing nothing but these laptop repairs.
Wow.
So if you still need to stick with Apple, the Mac Mini or the iMac
Right.
are the two more reliable hardware options. I mean, that's...
Yeah, see, I'm not a road warrior anymore.
Right.
I mean, I have a studio set, and I was interviewing for a new gig today, so if that comes through, I won't even be doing as much video production anymore. But
Got
all
it.
my other video production, I got to stay Mac, because it's all Mac based.
So spend $800. I don't know how much storage you had, but you might end up having to upgrade that.
Well, I
or
have
get the
a 3
upgraded.
terabyte hard drive, which is my media drive.
Right.
And then I have another backup drive, which is 500 gigs. And then I have my backup drive,
Yeah.
which is just for the systems,
Right.
not any of the data, and
Right.
everything else is on Google Drive. So,
Right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So either an iMac, if you don't need a laptop, an iMac for the iMac, the Mac Mini, are just
Right.
so much more value as far as the reliability.
And yeah, I'm not doing the whole road warrior thing.
Yeah.
How are they with video editing?
Well, I mean, the M1s,
Yeah.
it's no
Yeah.
longer Intel. It's supposedly multiple times better.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because it's they've gone back to proprietary.
Right.
where-
Exactly. I knew they switched over because this is Intel chips.
Yeah,
It's
Intel.
chipset.
That's the last. Yeah. So the new ones are Intel or M1
Right.
or M2, I think, at this point. So including the laptops.
Right.
So theoretically, you can get yourself a performance upgrade, but I haven't heard that they're that much more reliable.
Okay.
And it just seems like the quality of hardware for the laptops has been slow.
It's fascinating.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
just since Steve Jobs passed away 10,
Right.
12 years ago. And that seems to be...
Well, they're trying to push everyone to the.
Well, they want to turn everyone into the iPad.
Yeah, exactly.
eventually.
That's what I mean. Exactly. I mean, their
like-
pro version is like what a laptop should be.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
So yeah, I tried
Yep.
hard not to sound like a cranky old man.
Me too.
Put your money towards reliable hardware, and
Yep.
everyone will be happier, and you shouldn't have to
And
revisit me.
Chris,
as
I
often.
never even would have thought of that. So thank you.
Well, I don't know why they so undersell
Yeah.
the Mac Mini. They don't brag
Wow.
about it because it's their. I guess it's their. They're not making as much money on it, but it's so much more reliable.
And see, I'm already using a monitor.
Right.
I don't even use.
It's literally
and
plugged
I
into
use
a TV.
a Apple keyboard.
Yeah, so you can use wireless mice or keyboards.
Yeah.
You plug into a HDMI TV or monitor.
Yeah.
And it's a full computer.
And I've got, like I said, I use a hub.
Yeah,
Right?
and make
So-
sure you don't downgrade in storage. So you might end
Right.
up spending the extra $100 or $200, get the upgraded one for storage, just to make sure. That's the biggest frustration. You get these people at the Apple Store.
Right.
They sell a machine. They're quick to make the sale on an entry-level machine that has a
Right.
minimal amount of storage.
Yeah, right.
They end up getting less storage in their 5 or 6-year-old hardware they just tried to replace. And then one other thing that happens is that the cloud,
Right.
because it's backing up other tablets and phones,
Right.
clobbers that laptop. So the laptop doesn't boot and it performs like it's a dead machine.
Oh, my
when really
goodness.
the cloud just overwhelms the drive.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm not using. I mean, I use Google Docs, or Google Drive as my repository for stuff when it's done. But all my video, all my files, everything
Yeah.
else is all backed up on external drives, which
Yeah.
is then backed up.
Right.
So
Well, the
and
iCloud
then-
is great, but you just need to know how you have to basically pay attention to how much.
Oh,
hardware-
for sure.
how
I
much
had
storage
to
you-
clean. I cleaned this out, and I got 30 gigs back.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Bye, YouTube audience.
Camera's over right here.
Somewhere.
There. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. See you.
No
man.
problem. Alrighty. Okay, so where are we? Oh, that's right. We need to make sure our M2 chip no MDM. Well, we physically have an M2 chip installed. So let me Google this here. Where in this BIOS is this is the Tomahawk. Let's see here. The motherboard we're dealing with is the MAG. Z590. M.2 not showing. Okay, new M2 SSD not showing up in BIOS, how to fix. I'm going to turn the volume down because it's not my content and I don't want to get in trouble. Motherboards these days offer several SATA connectors and M2 slots, but setting up your drives so that they show up in your BIOS and are recognized by your OS isn't always straightforward as you'd like it to be. Did you buy the wrong SSD? Is it broken? Probably not. Or is it something else entirely? That can be easily fixed. Let's take a look. Alright, causes for M2 not showing up. See, SSD should be showing up in the BIOS either at the top of the BIOS screen where you can change a boot priority, or the dedicated boot storage menu. Every BIOS looks a bit different, but here's how it looks in the MSI BIOS. Boot priority at the top and storage boot menu on the left side. Yes, okay, good. If the M2 does not appear anywhere in those two options, here are the most common causes preventing the M2 drives from showing up. Potentially your SSD M2 is not compatible, which I doubt, because there's very few that are not. Improperly installed, well, it's kind of hard to screw that up. Faulty SSD, BIOS not configured properly, which is I think our problem. Not compatible, that's not our problem. Let's see here. Okay, so that's not working. Although the physical differences between the alright. Although the physical differences between the two. Okay, so which drive do we have? Do we have a genuine M2 SSD? Or do we have an NVMe? I didn't even check. Okay, so let's do this. Let's turn this off and see which we have. Let's see if this is a genuine M2. Customer coding, of course, I shouldn't have told them it'd be done in 2 hours. Okay, so this is a real M2. Alrighty. This looks like a genuine M2. It's only got one slot. Right there. Okay, so let's see what our other options are here. 1, 2, 3, yes. Alright, where'd that screw go? I dropped the screw. Okay, let's try this slot here. This would unplug. A little easier to navigate anyway. Hello, how are you?
Oh, hi, I'm just checking in on the client.
You Cody's mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just sent me a text. Come on over.
Okay.
I'm working on it right now.
Okay.
So it's not quite firing up. I mean, we're farther along than he was before.
Yeah.
But I'm still not, his drive here isn't showing up. So
why don't I come back, why don't you work on it and I'll come back tomorrow?
yeah, anytime, either today or tomorrow. This is it right here. So
Yeah.
I tried to turn it on and his storage device isn't showing up, which I wasn't able to properly diagnose anyway because I wasn't getting a display.
Yeah.
It would turn
if it
on.
takes longer, I went for a walk and,
Alright,
if you're not done, I'll
It's
just
all
tell him
right. No, he sent me a text literally like 10 seconds before you showed up.
Thank you. Okay.
No big
Bye.
deal. Thank you. Alrighty, okay. So let's fire this up again. Now I'm trying this in a different slot. Okay. There we go, I found our 2 pins. Alright, let's fire this up. Let's see. Drum roll. Okay, we have display. Oh, we have a different display. Hey, we got working windows. Yes, I tried a different slot. It's working. All right. All right. I don't know why that other M2 wasn't working. That's weird. Drum roll. All right. It's booting. Hey, we got Windows. So now there we go. Cody sent me a text. His mom just showed up 10 seconds ago, and here we are. We have a working machine. So all I have to do is put this in his machine. Oh, that's what I want to do. Let's turn this off. Oh, that's right. I need his password. What's your password? Alright, so there we go. This is how I like to test everything. This is my Workbench video card. The next step is to get his big ol' gaming card physically installed so I can bootstrap everything and basically make sure that all his stuff works reliably. Alright. Welcome to a day in the life of an IT guy. Okay, his password is that. Okay. Let's log in. It wants the pin. Let's see here. We're waiting on Cody to give us his pin so we can diagnose this. If you've never been here before and you're wondering what I'm up to, I'm just an IT guy. I'm actually going to take this new motherboard. I diagnosed this customer's motherboard as bad, so we swapped out the motherboard. I used an i3 CPU to diagnose the CPU. His i5 CPU is still good. So it looks like all he needed was a motherboard. His case is on the other side of the room. I'm now currently waiting for his password so I can confirm we have reliability here. If you've never been here before, just say hi in the chat. Give me a phone call, 855-434-8787. Oh, there we go. Okay, so well, let's try this again. There it is. Okay, I think we have our good. Okay, so now what I'd like to do, plug in the Ethernet. Good, good, good. Did not have to reinstall Windows. That's good. I'm going to plug in Ethernet. I want to just do a few updates. Make sure this is reliable. One piece of hardware we're not using of his, I guess two, the power supply and the video card. So let's plug in Ethernet. Windows 10. And Ethernet, come on. I'm waiting for the Ethernet to show up. Okay, so the Ethernet is not showing up. So what I'm theorizing is that we don't currently have a driver installed. So what I'm going to do is use my USB adapter to translate HDMI into USB-C, in this case USB-C. Oh, that one doesn't have Ethernet on it. Let's see here. There we go, we got Ethernet here. So here's our, it's still not showing up. So, there's Ethernet right, oh, it's too dark, you can't see. I got Ethernet on the end of this. Hang on, it's scammer. I got someone annoying here. Okay, so we're going to plug in Ethernet into my USB-C dongle here. Then we're going to plug USB-C into the motherboard here. And that should trigger our Ethernet support. There, that's plugged in. Drum roll. Hey, there we go. Yeah, that's probably it. So that's why I wanted to do updates. Few optional updates. Let's do some driver updates. Let's get some drivers installed. So there, I hope you guys realize what just happened. I took his M2 with a copy of Windows from another piece of hardware, basically an older motherboard, and his Ethernet wasn't working because his installation did not include the Ethernet driver, so I converted Ethernet to USB-C. So now it's working on USB-C. Now we're going to do some uploads so Windows can do some updates and potentially find the Ethernet driver for this MSI motherboard. Okay. Look at those here. Download and install. I like doing these updates just because customer doesn't want to bother because they're not that sort of enthusiast, and it also helps me put some confidence into a reliable setup. Because if it can get through a few updates, you get a more reliable setup. You've driven it around the block. Turn off all this doing stuff. Yeah. All these notifications. So yeah, Ethernet is now working through USB-C. Oh, it dropped off. That's interesting. I'm glad I noticed that. Oh, you know what? The driver probably just reinstalled. That's why. The very thing I'm whining about. So now, Windows update. Ah, yeah, look at all those updates pending. Alright, so that's probably why the Ethernet just dropped off. Alright, good. So now I'm getting more and more confident we got a working system. Alright, so after some of these updates are done, we'll restart. He gave me the pin to restart, and then we'll do a native test on the Ethernet to make sure it's all working that way. But I think we got a working system. Yes, if the CPU fan is spinning. If this is the sort of stuff you like, you basically just film desktop support. Hardware repair diagnosis. Sometimes I'll sit next to someone, hold their hand, and we'll set up their new computer. That's usually most of what I'm up to. So, if you're wondering what the heck this dude is up to, we've been here, I guess, a little over an hour. This machine is fairly done as far as diagnosis goes. We just have to we have to take all this hardware and put it in this customer's case, which should be fairly straightforward. So we're just installing some driver updates. Yeah, there we go. Oh, the USB driver was updated. It wasn't so much the Ethernet driver. Okay, Ethernet, NVIDIA driver is good at 68%, 70%. There we are. Drum roll, pending install, pending install. We're getting there. Alrighty. That's weird though. I kind of wonder why that other MP wasn't working. Hello, how are you? Oh, it's you. How's it going? We're live on YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
I got this machine going. I replaced his motherboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm going to put it in there. So. Oh, that's it. There, yeah. That's the bad
This
one.
motherboard has no CPU in it.
Yep, because the CPU's still good.
This one has a radio built into the motherboard.
Does it
Oh
have
no, it's just it's an ARM card with a soldered Faraday cage.
Where's that? Where's what?
If you look really close,
Oh, yeah, it's got
it's just an ARM card, but they soldered down the Faraday cage. Because whenever you have a really good ground like that,
That's the Wi-Fi antenna, yeah.
yeah, whenever you have a really good ground like that, you can have longer antenna,
Yep.
a higher gain. Other than that, when I was in school, we used to make radios at Mr. Cheesham's classroom.
Cheese them?
Cheesham.
Really?
We used to get an oatmeal, Quaker oatmeal.
Right.
We'd wrap that with a copper wire, and we used a transistor, a resistor, and a diode.
Yeah.
A little tiny speaker, and a ground and an aerial. And the coil around the deal would be a tuner. Oh.
10 million still. We're almost there. Did you work today?
Yeah. I work every day.
I thought you were leaving town for the week.
I am. I thought it was going to be tonight or last night or tonight, but I'm going to find out. I might be leaving at like 4 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning.
Lovely. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and restart this.
I went to a big fat chili cook-off yesterday.
Yeah.
I've been eating pretty decently.
Yeah.
I don't put salt on any of my food, but the chili cook-off, I had a little cup at each one because we're all doing a contest,
Yeah.
right? So I voted for what I thought was the best chili.
Right.
They were way over-salted. Could not sleep a wink last night.
Right.
Blood pressure skyrocketing. I took an extra blood pressure pill.
Yep.
So what? And woke up literally exhausted. I nodded out at a red light, dude.
Yeah.
Like cars were honking at me at like dark 30 in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and I opened my eyes and I go, oh, maybe I should go now.
Yep. Alrighty. Almost there.
I saw this gal I haven't seen in 3 months,
Yeah.
and she was, oh my goodness, you got so much fatter since last time I saw you. Like out loud in front of everyone. And I go, really? I go, well, thanks for letting me know, because now I'm going to take my diet more seriously.
Hold on, let me fix my audio just a second.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I got stuff to do. I got to look up a controller for a lighting system. Out loud in front of everyone. I go, really? I go, well, thanks for letting me know. Now I'm going to take my diet more seriously.
Hold on, let me fix my audio just a second.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I got stuff to do.
Let's see. Let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Audio today is a little off. Turn down the gain. Let's see how that does. Let's go back to YouTube and see how that looks. I got audio issues. Let's see here. Alrighty. There we are. Okay, so now let's log in. Seven 425. Okay, so now we have updates. Let's see what updates. Okay, we got one more update. Okay, so it looks like, at least with this old configuration, it doesn't want to take Windows. I'm wondering if you wanted to go to Windows on 11, this motherboard should be new enough. Yeah, see, I wonder if he needs to totally reinstall Windows for Windows 11 to work, since we're pulling this from a Windows 10 system. All right. All right, it's installing our final Windows update. We're almost there. I'll link the other video to this one for diagnosing, but basically this motherboard was bad. He gets to keep his original i5 CPU. That was good. I used an i3 CPU to confirm what's going on. That's pretty much it. I just want to do these updates and get all the drivers in place, because it looks like when this thing booted, it didn't have a working Wi-Fi or Ethernet driver. So in order to bypass that issue, I plugged in a Ethernet dongle to USB-C. So I'm going to finish this update here. Getting Windows ready. So we're going to finish this update. So now what I think I want to do is unplug this USB-C dongle, and let's go native Ethernet. So I'm avoiding USB, which is plugged into there, Ethernet, because out of the box, Windows 10 did not have the driver that supports Ethernet. So let's see how this works. And then I'm going to physically I'll put this in, and I think I'm going to call it a done video. I don't think you guys need to see me physically put it all in the case again. Actually, that reminds me, that breakout here. Oh, don't need that anymore. So we're going to call this part 2 of diagnosing a bad motherboard. Well, I just want to confirm this Ethernet driver has been placed. I'm going to guess this kid uses Wi-Fi. Yes. Kind of, it's got some crust on the CPU heatsink. We're almost there. So this is what you're looking at. There's our CPU cooler. You got all your ports underneath here. Workbench video cards right here. Let's see if I can give you a slight. There we go. RAM is right here. And his M2 is on the other side. His bootable M2 is on the other side of the video card. Before I shut everything down, I want to make sure that Ethernet works when he reboots. We're getting there. Getting Windows ready. The next video I'm going to be doing a reinstall of Windows. I'm thinking that's the only issue I have to deal with. Let's see here, Amazon. I'm still waiting on the mail. Orders. Almost there. All right, let's see here. Yeah, and this is actually taking up space here, so I need to make room for this. I need to get rid of this hardware to make room for the other desktop. Actually, that giant desktop, I think I'm going to get ready. I'm just going to leave it on the floor because it's so big and heavy. Alright. Alright, man, that's a big case. Okie dokie, let's do this. This is a nice fancy case. It's got glass on all three sides. Got it. Okay. We're almost there. Good. All right. Almost there. Let's see here. Okay, so now we're just going to do his key code again. That should be okay. Good. Ethernet is now working. Native support is working. Let's see if he has any other pending updates. Okay, so now he has Windows 10, and you probably saw that it doesn't want to support Windows 11. That might be fixed with a full reinstallation. Okay, I think we've done all his updates. Ethernet is not working, now that all the drivers are up to date. See where it says this PC does not support or meet the minimum system requirements? That might be fixed by doing a total reinstall. He's playing games, he wants to stick with 10 anyway. So there we are. Okay, now that's pretty much it. I'm going to take off. Thank you everyone for showing up. My name is Chris. I film the work when it makes sense. This was a motherboard diagnosis. Now all I have to do is move all this hardware and put it in the CPU case, and then we're good. I will link the old video to this one or this one to the other one, diagnosing a motherboard when it could have been a CPU, but his i5 turned out to be okay. So thank you. And until I get another camera, you're just going to have to look at the work rather than my face while I